and welcome to ET Now Startup Central, India's first and only daily show dedicated to startups and entrepreneurship. I'm Chandra Shrikant, joining you live from India's startup capital, Bangalore. And Krishna, I guess you're going to take us through what we have on the show today.
Absolutely. This is Krishna Kumar coming to you live from 18 Hours Mumbai studios. First, what signals continuing pain in the hyperlocal food delivery space? Tiny Owl will shut down operations in all locations except Maximum City, Mumbai. Now, this is part of an exercise to merge the company with logistics player Roadrunner. The integration is set to give Tiny Owl complete control over its delivery fleet. The shutdown is part of a rebranding exercise as well, which will see Tiny Owl relaunch operations in the cities in a phased manner. Remember, Tiny Owl recently made news for the mass layoffs, which led to a hostage-like situation at their office in Pune.
That's right, Krishna. I guess a lot of learnings for the hyperlocal space. Remember, we had Peppertap CEO a few weeks back after they decided to again shut the consumer-facing operations and pivot to logistics. So I guess that segment is going to see a lot of pain, a lot of learning going forward. People always said that the unit economics as far as hyperlocal is concerned is just out of whack. So I guess that's why we are seeing these developments. It will be interesting to see how what will shape Tiny Owl's journey going forward, considering it will merge with Roadrunner. But moving on from that to the big policy voice on the show today, net neutrality. That's a subject that all of us care deeply about, particularly startups, people making apps that want free access. And we spoke to Union Telecom Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad, who believes that the government has walked the talk as far as net neutrality and differential pricing is concerned. He's also said that they will look at the anomaly as far as the closed user group is concerned closely. Here's an excerpt of that conversation.
On net neutrality, the differential pricing chapter is over, you know it very well. We have taken a very firm stand there. And let me tell you, I have also made a very clear view that India is too big a country and too huge a country to be persuaded by any kind of ad campaign.
That's right.
We will take decisions on merits. I have made 2 points inside the parliament. We are proud of internet invention, one of the finest invention of human mind. It should be used for human talent only. It should not be abused by few.
That's right.
For terrorism or extremism. And second, I would wish to ensure non-discriminatory access. Because if internet is a global phenomena, it must have linkage with the local.
That's right.
And internet is empowering people. These are my broad concerns.
And your stance has proved what you were saying. You walked the talk, so to say, on the stance.
Absolutely.
But what about the closed user group? That one issue.
No, as far as the TRI is concerned,
Right.
TRI is considering my larger request for net neutrality issues.
Yes.
They are consulting. Let the report comes, I will take a call. They are also considering the issue of closed group also.
Right.
So when the TRI, the body is consulting it, making the consultations, let the report comes, I'll take a call.
All right, and with that, it's time now to talk about Just Dial. Chandra, the company managed to beat street expectations with its fourth quarter earnings numbers. Profits came in at over 35 crore rupees, a surge of over 30%, while revenues were up nearly 5% to about 180 crore rupees. Operating profit was up over 20% as well, while margins shot up to 25% from the 21% in the previous quarter. Other income surged by over 60%, a major cause for their margins to expand for this quarter at least. Let's hear out the company's CFO, Ramkumar Krishnamachari, on it then.
Marketing and advertising is mainly on the B2C basis. We want to create awareness among the mass consumers about the JD transaction platform. As far as Omni is concerned, it's a B2B strategy for us, making sure from an SME standpoint, they have the necessary platform for them to reach out to the consumers who are going online. So, but having said that, definitely there will be synergy, there will be fallout effect of what we do on Search Plus advertising on small business. They are going to definitely see benefit. More transactions that happen on JD platform, the more the benefit the small business will get, and Omni is going to just be a catalyst for making it easier for them to transact with them. So I am not, most of bulk of it will certainly go towards marketing on the Search Plus.
From that to a budding star whom we are featuring today, this is a segment where we feature upcoming startups, upcoming internet companies, and the company today we are talking about, Krishna, is Unboxed. Now it makes product discovery software to really help e-commerce companies boost sales. To understand more about the company, we have its co-founder and CEO Pawan Sudur joining us on the show. They also raised a Series B round of funding recently, so certainly no reason to worry as far as operations are concerned. Pawan, thank you so much for talking to us. Product discovery software for e-commerce sales sounds pretty fancy, but help us understand in simple terms, what problem you're solving, what you're doing.
Yeah, so at Unboxed, we basically help online retailers get more efficient and increase their top line revenues by increasing their conversions, really. Think of us like a Google for individual e-commerce sites. We help their visitors find what they're looking for by helping them find the right set of products when they search on individual e-commerce sites powered by us, or when they browse for products going through various categories and subcategories on those different pages. Essentially, we understand what visitors are looking for, understand their intent, get the context right, and show the right products to each individual visitor coming onto the site. And our platform basically is something that can be plugged into e-commerce sites and apps, and we power them with this technology essentially there on the site.
All right, Pawan, this is Krishna coming to you from ET Now's Mumbai studios. Help us understand, the market potential of this particular space. How big is this market, and how fast do you expect to grow going forward?
So the market is extremely huge. E-commerce, as you know, is the fastest growing sector in globally itself. Even in the US, that's the fastest growing space across industries. And the global market for e-commerce is massive. For us as a service on search, navigation and recommendations, it's easily a $15 to $20 billion global market. We are focused on US and India, and extended India into Asia Pacific as well, but primarily US, which has 80% of our revenues coming in. And there the market is anywhere between $8 to $10 billion. Outside of Amazon, which Amazon roughly has around 22% share in the market, there are top 5,000 retailers who've gone online, and these are the ones that we are targeting, and really seeing the maximum growth coming from there.
Pawan, you mentioned 80% of your revenues currently come from North America. It's clearly a huge market. Do you expect that trend to change in future? Because, data is king, wherever you have an e-commerce or a marketplace. So, will the geography mix change for you going forward? What trends are you seeing there?
Absolutely, we are open to other geographies as well. We've got customers in Eastern Europe, we've got customers in the UK, we've got customers in Australia. If we map out the geographies that we have customers in, we've covered almost 40 countries there. But our focus for the next 12 months, or rather 18 months, is going to be the US, where we're seeing a stupendous amount of growth coming in, and the product market fit. The US is a very unique market, like any other market. Multiple devices, omni-channel, large number of offline retailers, all of those things clubbed together. Our product has seen the maximum product market fit there, and we've put together a sales and marketing engine that can attack that market and essentially be the weapon of choice for most online retailers who are competing against Amazon. That's basically where we are seeing this. That's our sweet spot, basically.
Pawan, I wanted to understand, what your revenue model is. It like? Tell us, is it on a pay-per-use basis?
So when the
when our software is plugged into the e-commerce site, we are a cloud-based service. So it's basically based on usage of our product. So when someone says usage, it means the amount of traffic that is coming in onto that e-commerce site determines how much they use our sites to help their visitors find what they're looking for. So that essentially is a business model. So if we have somebody with 100,000 visitors coming in and they interact on the site using search and navigation, then we bill them for those 100,000 visitors for that e-commerce site. That's the business model basically.
All right, Pawan, I have one last thing to ask you before we let you go. Tell us, what potential do you see for your product here in India, since e-commerce is a fast-growing market over here? Any specific challenges you face here vis-a-vis developed markets like North America?
Right. So the market, I think, for India, I mean, it's growing at a scorching pace. As large as the long tail is now developing very well as well. Everybody's aware. One key thing which differentiates India is about mobile, and this is a story along with the rest of Asia as well. And in the US, it's about multiple devices. Everybody has more than 3 devices where they browse and interact from. And then there is this angle of traditional retail, which is a $5 trillion market in the US, which is non-existent. We've skipped that, sort of generation altogether. And coming to the other question, which is around what do we see as a scope? See, in India, we think that this is easily a $100 million market, and the US, like I said, is an $8 to $10 billion market right now. However, India is growing fast, but so is the US. US is growing at 10 to 12% overall. It's the only sector which is growing in 2 digits in the US.
All right, Pawan, we'll let it go at that. Pawan Sudhir of Unbox, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us here on 18 Hours Startup Central. Moving on, Chandra, startups are the focal point for India's digital empowerment. That's the word coming in from Intel's Debjani Ghosh. Speaking to 18 Hours, Debjani also emphasized on the role Intel is playing to empower startups here in the country. Here's a slice of that conversation.
India right now, we believe that in order for even digital India to be a reality, you really need a lot of customized solutions. You need new thinking, new solutions, and these solutions have to be customized for the new users in India who are going to be primarily non-urban, to a large extent even maybe illiterate. So you have to think through what kind of solutions will enable them to not just get connected, but benefit from that connectivity. We believe that startups or businesses are going to play a critical role in building that solution portfolio that is needed to make India truly digital. And the way we are engaging with them is through mentorship. Initiatives like the Innovate for Digital India Challenge, initiatives like the Makers Lab we have on our campus, where we work with these startups, the technology startups, and help them figure out not just a business plan, but also help them figure out the technology and get access to mentors as well as technology, so they can create the kind of solutions that can be game-changing for India.
And do these startups end up working for Intel at a later stage, or
we don't sort of connect it? Of course, Intel Capital is looking at investments, but we don't sort of make that a requirement. If we are working with startups because we want 1,000 flowers to bloom. So we are working with entrepreneurs, makers as we call it. Our focus is on makers, and we are working with makers across the country to help give them access to technology, ideas, mentorship, so that they can create the kind of solutions that will truly connect India. That's job one.
From one multinational looking at startups and digital to another, we are talking about HP's Rajiv Srivastava. Hear him out on their plans for digital going forward.
We believe we are the largest startup in the world right now, and more ways than one. And we think we've got the energy, the creativity, the heart of a startup. Right. But then, being a Fortune 100 company, you also have the muscle and the determination of a company of that size and stature and that class and global scale that you operate on. Right. So I think that's been the real genesis of where we are from a split perspective, operating as 2 independent companies since August of 2015. And the way we see our positioning right now in the market, HP, we are the largest providers of PC and printing systems in the world today.
Right.
And clearly have a very strong brand, and a brand which is largely trusted, very strongly trusted across the globe, across most companies. And our position is we are the leaders in most companies that we operate in. So, and that's a good position to start with as a startup company.
Right.
And when you net it out for what's been transitioning or happening in the from a company perspective, we've been very focused for the last so many years, 75 years of our existence,
Right.
on innovation as a core sort of benchmark on which we base our company on. The world of technology is fascinating. It's changing at such a fast pace, but we've got to make sure that we relate technology changes to the changes in large demographics of the world. And a few things which are really becoming almost obvious right now as we speak are, one is the consumerization of information technology.
Right.
So we work at home now. While working at the office, we clearly work at home, and we do social networking in the office. And everything in between, wherever from work to office, we do networking and we do work all the times. The second thing which I think is really becoming important for companies across the world is the concept of digital transformation. $20 million worth of transactions got done in this year, and going forward in 2020, that will probably go up to 140 billion transactions. So I think it's such a large scale shift that is taking place today. Still, India is, in my mind, one of the most unique programs. It is trying to create India into a knowledge society, trying to create India into a knowledge economy where things get facilitated by the intervention of technology. If you look at the kind of company we are, a product, solutions, and services company, all the three paradigms of Digital India really feed into our strength, and the offerings are very easy from our perspective. We've been engaged with the government in India for a very long time, creating solutions for the last 25 years, of scale, of mass, of deployments across the country. And we feel extremely comfortable and confident that we should be in a position to partner with the government. There are a lot of SMBs which are trying to get far more productive, far more inventive, and far more efficient. And all of this is possible only by using technology. You can't do it any other way. The product life cycle development has to become shorter. And when you're trying to innovate faster, which means you can take products faster to the market and convert that into revenues for yourself, that happens on the back of technology. So companies like ours, which are working on creating this innovation life cycle, which becomes shorter and faster to market, is something that we are aligning with SMBs for their benefit. The other thing which SMBs, in my opinion, have to do now is, because we are becoming so much more digital aware and we are transforming ourselves into a digital economy, I think SMBs will have to create an e-presence for themselves.
From that, Krishna, to our final segment of the day, Number Crunch, and the number we are crunching for you today is 600. That's the number of scientists who worked at the ISRO on India's maiden reusable space shuttle, India's very own space shuttle, which will pit it directly against the likes of Elon Musk's SpaceX. Remember, the biggest advantage to using reusable launch vehicles is the fact that this drastically brings down the cost of access to space. So this is quite a giant leap for ISRO, and that's the reason why it's been trending today, why a lot of people are calling it the Swadeshi space shuttle. Certainly a moment that all of us can be proud about, but then ISRO, I guess, has always given us reasons to be proud, Krishna.
Oh, second that, Chandra. ISRO, the Indian Space Research Organization, has always given us many reasons to be proud of our country for, and here is one more on your screen. 600 scientists putting together. That's something a multinational company is doing as we speak. But on that note, we need to wrap things up here on this edition of ET Now. Startup Central, thank you so much for watching. Don't go anywhere. Continue watching ET Now.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow, and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.